Pogos and online gambling, online gaming, these are different
Opo.
activities, correct? Just to make
Opo.
everyone understand clearly.
Yes.
Pogo, in short, they get bets from outside the Philippines.
Overseas gaming po, Mr. Chairman.
And then this online gaming is domestic.
Dito
correct?
po sa domestic
Local,
market.
no?
Yes.
So kumukuha siya
domestic
ng
market.
bets locally.
Yes, domestic market, Mr. Chairman.
But both are operating in the Philippines. Meaning they get
Both,
bets.
yes. Well, the Pogo,
The gaming happens here in the Philippines for both. Tama ba?
yes. Well, the Pogos have their offices here in Manila, in the Philippines, and they source their customers from abroad. Versus the difference, no? The international, the e-gaming that we have, online gaming, sources their business from within the Philippines.
And their operation is also here in the Philippines. Meaning
Yes, in the Philippines.
the bets happens here in the Philippines.
Yes, Chairman. The bets are happening here in the Philippines.
The online gaming, do they have brick and mortar casinos or everything happens online?
They
Diba
do not
merong
wala
mga-
po silang physical casinos.
Okay.
I mean, they do not have land-based operations. Except for, meron pong mga outlets lang, but wala pong physical live dealing in the outlets. It's all online. You have online bingo, you have online RNG games, online slot machines. Excuse me. You have online slot machines, you have online table card games, but wala pong physical operations na nangyayari dito sa mga outlet na to.
Everything is digital.
Yes.
For example, the bingo is digital also.
Opo, may meron po kasing dalawang uri ng bingo. Meron pong traditional kung saan you see in the different malls, meron pong mga live na nangyayari. And second is meron pong online wherein you broadcast a live bingo game through the internet. And customers can purchase cards and play.
And the online, but these online games also have land-based counterparts. Is that correct?
Well,
For example, bingo, di ba? They have also land-based bingo.
Ayun nga po.
I would assume yung slot machine na digital or online, they also have
well, ganito,
land-based slot machines.
yes, ganito po, no? As I mentioned, there are two classifications sa bingo. One is we see this in the different malls. We have what they call traditional bingo, wherein the bingo games are held in a hall or in a large space where physically customers are there to buy the bingo cards. So that is one. The other, Chairman, is a live game being broadcast to the internet, and through the internet, one can play outside the hall, and they can place or purchase their cards not physically in the site, but outside. So, naka-live broadcast po. With regard to slot machines, there are RNG slots, meaning they are not live slot machines, but rather slot machine games that are provided by slot machine or by game providers. So these are RNG. So physically, you are just playing like random number games. Kaya po tinawag na RNG. And another classification, Mr. Chairman, is the online streaming of a casino with this bingo, with this slot machine, and then that is then brought out through the internet mobile, on a mobile device. So yun po ang But yung physical po, your original question, wala pong physical game na nagaganap sa loob ng mga outlets.
And then uh, you mentioned earlier that one of the rationale for coming up with guidelines, no, is because a lot of these online games are becoming are going underground or
Yes.
going gray market.
Yes, and that was the reason the previous board decided to open up to regulation the e-gaming business. Dahil ang lakas po nung brick and mortar operations. Maybe you'll ask how. There are several platform providers that one can just go to and tie up with. You do not even have to have your own platform. There are international service providers that provide all the types of games, thousands, hundreds of thousands of games. And actually, that is done not only in the Philippines, but that is done worldwide, Mr. Chairman.
And how come this e-games, I'll call it e-games, no?
Yes.
The e-games, how come it cannot, how come it went gray market? Can't government shut down all of these websites?
Well, just as I had mentioned earlier, and maybe later on, as you would give the chance to General Villanueva, it's not as easy, Mr. Chairman. In my time alone, from the time I was appointed, 7,747 illegal websites that we tracked. And not all has been shut. Or, you know, what happens, Mr. Chairman, is that if you close them today, for example, their name is Worldwide Casino. I mean, I hope there is no licensing. You close it down because they're illegal, or DICT will close them down. Tomorrow, they will reopen and use worldwide2casino.com. And the day after, they're closed again, worldwide3casino.com. So it is very difficult. I mean, I'm not a techie, Mr. Senator, but hirap na hirap po kaming tumugis. Even DICT has also some problems trying to pursue.
We heard the same feedback from some Chinese gaming experts, because I asked them, how come China, with its might and resources, how come they cannot shut down pogo sites in China? And that's exactly also the feedback I got, because they can reincarnate using the different name, a different brand. So it's a very nimble and it's easy to change the brand and market themselves again. No? That's what we found out, and that's in China, because I was asking them, Pogos operate here, but they get majority of their bets in China. But China, we all know, controls the internet. No, but how come they cannot shut down? And I found out from gaming experts, Chinese gaming experts, that they can really change the brand easily and market through different modalities. For example, through WeChat or other chat platforms. No, so it seems like it's this type of online gamings are much more complex to regulate. No? But I understand you mentioned earlier that there are efforts to shut down 7,000 websites.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, we have here the report, and we were able to report the operation of 7,747 illegal operators from the time of my assumption into office, Mr. Chairman. And as if you will give General Villanueva a chance, maybe he can further explain of the 7,747 illegal sites that we have reported to the authorities, how many of them have been shut and how many still continue to do illegal business.
We recognize General Villanueva, just to give us a preview or
Thank
an
you, Mr. Chairman.
understanding on your activity or your direction of shutting down illegal websites.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Since Yes, sir. Since September 2022, we have been monitoring all illegal sites, actually. It's not only the illegal online games, but also other classifications like isabong, and the Facebook ads, the mobile applications, the offshore sites, and spam messages, including Telegram chats, where they advertise their gaming, illegal games. And we were able to endorse to NTC, ACG, and CICC, the ICT, of course, 7,747 sites, sir, including the apps. Of these, sir, 7,747, 5,793 or 74.78% were already blocked, and 1,954 are still active. So because NTC or the ICT is very dependent only on the ISPs to block these sites. This is one of our strategies, sir. There are two strategies. One is blocking of the website or URLs, and the payment blocking. The payment blocking, as of now, sir, based on my research, there's no studies yet on payment blocking because some of these criminals, they use cryptocurrency as a mode of payment. And the banking system is very complex. Offshore banking is very complex. So, but we have tried now reaching out to the payment portals like GCash and Maya, and we had a meeting I think 2 weeks ago with a representative of GCash, and they promised us that they to purge on these illegal sites because we have submitted to them or have published in our website only the legal sites. So that's a problem now. It's very challenging, sir, but we're doing our best to monitor the internet, and also we reach out to even Google Play Store. They have an office in BGC, sir, and we reach out to Apple Play Store. They have an office in Singapore. So we wrote them, and last week we just requested to shutting down or removing the illegal applications like isabong sites, illegal cockfighting. So we're reaching out to them, including the Facebook. The Facebook, sir, because there's plenty of ads there. If you will look, sir, there was a reduction in the Facebook ads on illegal, especially illegal sabong, because of these efforts that we've been doing. But they shifted to the chat rooms, like Telegram chat groups. They'll be advertising and posting links on illegal sites. So that's our main challenge, sir. Even in the United States, based on the research of the Gambling Research Exchange of Ontario and American Gaming Association, there is an estimated 500 billion each year with illegal and unregulated sports betting. So kahit ang US, sir, na nahirapan na rin sila, and only 65 billion are the legal ones. So mas marami pang kinikita yung mga illegal talaga, sir, sa US. Even in Europe, it's the same thing. Even in Australia, it's the same thing, sir. In Australia, illegal offshore gambling in Australia is worth more than 1.1 billion Australian dollars. So there are only two strategies according to the studies: is the website blocking and the payment blocking. That's also.
So, General, from your opinion, uh, if you block the website and you block the payment, it can be done.
Yes, sir, it can be done. But right now we're still coordinating with the payment portal, the providers, like especially GCash. GCash has plenty of customers and.
So, for example, the website, the agency that will block the website is DICT.
Yes, sir. But actually, they do not physically block it. They order the internet service providers to block it, the ISP. So they're very dependent on the ISPs.
Okay, and there are many ISPs, diba?
Yes,
As we
sir.
all know.
There are plenty.
So,
About
but-
20, I think.
So the do we have someone from the ICT here? Okay. Yeah, we'll ask the ICT about that later on. But so the ICT will instruct the ISPs to block it, so mabablock siya, and then the payment gateways such as GCash and PayMaya, they can block the payment of the payment going through these websites.
Yes, sir. If you block the site, it's not accessible anymore. So you cannot even use GCash there.
Okay.
That's
Is there any other form of payment other than GCash and PayMaya? That's the most popular here.
I think it's
you mentioned earlier
it's through cryptocurrency, sir. And also there's an aggregator abroad. They collect all these bets actually and channel it to the GCash. So parang ano sir, third party yan sir na nagko-kolekta ng mga bets papunta doon sa GCash. GCash has they have accounts in GCash, sir. So they can
But
withdraw money.
you talk to the telcos in this particular case.
Yes.
Yes,
Mr.
Chairman,
Chairman,
go
can
ahead.
in answer to your question, a few months ago, I had a meeting with the senior officials of GCash and, of course, PayMaya, and they have helped us so much. In fact, when we furnished GCash basically it's about 90%, 85-90% of the market, Mr. Chairman. And when we furnished them a copy of the legal or the list of our licensees, immediately GCash responded, and I laud, I have to say, Ernest Koo, the head of Globe, who I had a meeting with, because in a matter of hours, they were able to block the illegal websites. And that is the reason, Mr. Chairman, if you remember in my opening statement, the main unregistered companies have come forward to already register with Pagcor, primarily because they've lost already a payment gateway or payment provider like GCash and also PayMaya. So I just wanted to share with you that in our efforts to be able to block all these illegal websites, part of our thrust was to have a dialogue with the payment providers. And I laud them because they've not only cooperated, they've executed what we requested them to do.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, the General Villanueva. So it can be done, albeit it's the process is not straightforward, from what I understand. You have to go through the payment platforms, you have to go through the ICT, and it's a continuous effort, process, because nga they can reincarnate into a different name, reincarnate into a different brand, because all of this is digital, all of this, they're just typing. That's the way I understand
Yes,
it.
talagang patsagaan lang po, Mr. Chairman, dahil we're already, sometimes we want to give up, but I just tell the team, no, let's not give up, let's continue to fight. Because of that problem nga po na talagang they reincarnate using another name. And the only inconvenience is truly the customer might doubt already, excuse me, that he's depositing he is depositing his funds in a company that might be gone tomorrow. So yun na lang po yung inconvenience na nangyayari. Pero as to what you were saying, honestly, it's really a difficult task. But Mr. Chairman, I want to assure you we are not giving up.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'll go into the revenues. No?
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that just for 2023, I'll do the 2023, no? So
Yes.
it's full year. The GGR, or the gross gaming revenue, is about 56 billion. Is that
Yes.
correct? What is the revenue due to Pagcor? How much Pagcor collected during
We
in
were able to
2023?
collect in 2023, end of 2023, the amount of 13.7 billion pesos from the said GGR, Mr. Chairman.
So this is only for online games.
Yes, dun lang po sa online yun.
Okay.
And then for the first half of this year, I had mentioned earlier, we were able to collect already, Pagcor was able to generate 17.5 billion pesos just for the first half of the year. That's why if truly we will be able to turn the non-registered to register or the illegals to become legal, I am very confident, Mr. Chairman, that Pagcor will generate anywhere from 38 to around 42 billion pesos from the online gaming licensees alone.
That's the same thing from to BIR. I think BIR is here, no? But later on na lang I'll ask how much revenue or how much collection are we taking from the online games. Let's for now, no, let's separate Pogo and online games, no, because the bill, there are three bills here. Two talks about online games, although Pogo largely is an online game. The bets just come from outside, no. So, but the new discussion here, the new dimension here is the domestic or the local online games. That's why I want to understand that and put that on record. And then Chairman, I'll ask you about the bill, no? And before I ask you this, yung isabong, the infamous isabong, if you
Opo.
remember isabong in the past, no?
Opo.
That created a lot of controversy. I'll show some slides, no? We did some research on isabong. If just to refresh everyone's memory, if we remember, there were 40 individuals, no? Paki-flash nga, ano? There are 30 to 40 individuals who disappeared, and it's connected to Isabong, apparently. The Senate also conducted some hearings on that, and this created a lot of howl and not that, yung bago dyan, no, before that, no. Yan, yung those people who disappeared apparently connected to Isabong, and until now their bodies have not been recovered. We're not sure whether they're already dead or alive, but I think a lot of our enforcers are saying that they're already dead. And then we also saw some social ills. The next slide. A lot of our constituents got hooked on e-sabong. In fact, e-sabong exploded during the pandemic because everyone learned how to use the internet, including myself. Everyone learned how to use GCash, including myself. But apparently, e-sabong can also be facilitated using GCash to make it more seamless. And we saw a lot of, in the news, of police officers getting hooked and addicted to e-sabong. There were also reports that a couple, wala lang ako ngayon, no? But maybe you can research, Carla. A couple sold their baby because they were indebted because of e-sabong. So we saw a lot of social ills perpetuated by e-sabong. And that led to the banning of e-sabong, no? Complete banning of e-sabong. Now, my question is e-sabong considered an e-game? Is that an e-game?
Actually, back then, when it was still legal, when e-sabong was still legal, Pagcor had its own e-sabong department. And back then, it was not classified as part of electronic gaming. So, honestly, Mr. Chairman, I am not privy, primarily because hindi ko na po inabutan ng panahon ko. But if you will ask me today, I believe it is an electronic game also because I mean it passes it is through the internet. So I do not see any difference between electronic gaming and the e-sabong in terms of a betting platform, Mr. Chairman.
Let's assume, and I think, let me just ask my staff. I think there was a ruling before by Pagcor declaring, I think there was a debate between GAB and Pagcor on who will be the regulator of e-sabong. And Pagcor ruled, I am sure with the support of the higher ups, that e-sabong should be regulated by Pagcor. And that's a discussion between the executive branch, no? But having said that, and classifying e-sabong as e-games, and there's now a chance of reviving e-sabong because it's a form of e-game, no? It's a subset of e-games. And we also what e-sabong created, no? Or what havoc e-sabong created in our country. Like I demonstrated the 40+ disappearance of workers in e-sabong. E-sabong became very accessible to everyone, no? Whether you're in government or not in government, you can bet on e-sabong. Worse is any age, no, can bet on e-sabong. I remember at that time in Valenzuela talking to high school kids betting in e-sabong. It became so convenient, no? And like we all say, no, that the internet has beauty and also has a downside. And the downside, it's easy to access. Internet became a accessible means to everything, shopping and even gambling. And at that time, e-sabong became accessible to everyone, including minors. And we have personally, I've seen high school students betting their baon or betting their allowance in e-sabong. And that became a very big controversy, as we all know. And that led to the banning of e-sabong. Eventually, it was banned because of those news reports. Now, the rationale why our senators filed this bill is because of that threat that this type of gaming will be revived or be implemented, and there will be unhindered, possibility of betting or betting in those platforms. Unhindered meaning any age, any occupation, including government workers can bet in this type of e-platform, e-gaming. And that's why this bills were filed, because there's now there's fear that this might be revived and it might again destroy the fabric of our society. Now, my question to two things to the chairman. Is there any possibility of reviving e-sabong in our country? And then number two, if we if this law if these proposals become a law, no, becomes um, we push and becomes a law, uh, what will happen, no? If these bills that are designed to prevent online gaming from happening in our country, what will subsequently happen with all of these e-games, no? So two questions. First is, are there plans to revive e-sabong? And then number two, if this bills becomes law, what will happen subsequently to e-games?
Um, Chairman, in answer to question number one, whether there are plans to revive e-sabong. As of now, I think there is an ongoing study, primarily because despite the ban, which was made or in, if I'm not mistaken, prior sometime in May of 2022, e-sabong continues to, I mean, candidly speaking, Mr. Chairman, e-sabong still continues to proliferate. E-sabong is ongoing, and unfortunately, it is not being regulated. And at the same time, during the time that e-sabong was being regulated by Pagcor in year 2021, I believe, was able to generate close to about 6.5 billion pesos in license fees. And the sad part is today, the government is not getting a centavo. And as I would say, candidly speaking, I suppose everybody knows that e-sabong continues to operate in the different parts of this country. Now, whether it will be revived, I do not want to second guess, Mr. Chairman. But I believe that, again, this is a major problem of regulating said e-sabong. Because, as mentioned, during the time that it was ongoing and being regulated by Pagcor gained close to 6.5 billion, and today not a single peso is generated. So I think there might be some variations in the regulations that can be studied. But then again, I do not want to preempt whatever decision whoever will make on the matter. But honestly, within Pagcor, we're not studying it at this very moment.
Thank you for that, Mr. Chairman. If we push through with these laws, with these bills, and completely ban e-games,
Oh, yun po yung second question naman.
what
Yeah.
will happen?
Well, with regard to your second question, Mr. Chairman, as I had mentioned also earlier, Pagcor projects to generate I'm very confident, barring any major development against it. Pagcor, I can very well see with the trend in the first 6 months and with unregistered companies now coming forward and willing to register, Pagcor stands to lose the revenue of a minimum of 40 billion pesos if this law that is being proposed will be passed. And in these difficult times that everyone is facing today, I believe 40 billion pesos is a big amount if we will forego of that said amount, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you for that feedback, Mr. Chairman. I'll go to